Alright, look, I was taking a glance at the Warhammer Community site earlier today, and there was an article that tickled my fancy. It was all about preparing for Saturnine, which, on the surface, that seems like a very good article to do. Seems very sensible, because you want people to be nice and prepared, don't you? For the new box, the new edition, you want to give people a head start. You want to tell them what to buy, what to read. Just make it so that they can dive straight in. All a good idea in theory. But there came an issue as I scrolled down a bit. So we've got Choose Your Legion, then you've got like the reading order. You can cut a few of the books out of that series, I'll be honest with you, but let's not go into that right now. Get some legionaries. Again, all makes sense, all good, we get it. Tanks and transports, very important. Then we got to pick up a Primarch, which is my favourite version of pick up a penguin, which is probably a reference that very few of you will get, but there you go. And this is where I thought to myself, does this mean that the stock situation has improved? Because let's be honest, for a while now, there's been some issues with stock at Games Workshop. There's been a few cases where, you know, you've gone to look for something and it's been temporarily unavailable. And it'll come back at some point, maybe, eventually, but overall, level of stock maybe not quite meeting demand some of the time. That's the very diplomatic way to put it. I mean, even the new mission deck for Chapter Approved, that just disappeared immediately, and loads of people were like, cool, well, I guess I just can't have that then, because they didn't make enough for the initial demand. So that's a recent example, but one that I've seen floating around a fair bit from people not too happy about it. But I thought to myself, you know what? Let's check this out. Let's see, because it's been a while since I've gone through the Horus Heresy side of things, and it's been a while since I've, you know, kept up to date with how they're doing in terms of keeping that game supplied. So what I did was I went here, right? I haven't actually looked through this yet. I just got myself onto the Horus Heresy part of Warhammer.com, and I filtered unit type characters, okay? Probably a little bit more clunky than it needed to be. If there was a way to filter by Primarch, that would be much more helpful, but I'm pretty sure you could filter by Primarch on the old website, but I don't believe you can do it here, because of course you can't. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's see who is in stock. I forgot the Infernus Abomination even existed. What an insanely cool model. Oh, it's excellent. How old is that now? I don't want to know. I don't want to know when that came out because I forgot it existed, so it must have been a while ago. Anyway, let's take a look. So, we're not going to count Kabanda, not a Primarch, doesn't count, okay? Okay, here we go. First Primarch, first Primarch of the day, first Primarch we spotted, the Khan. There he is. So we've got one. We've got the Khan. There's any more for any more? We've got one so far. Hey, there we go. So they've got Magnus with 2. Gilliman with 3. Okay, 3 Primarchs available. Lorgar with 4. Ferrus Manus for 5. And anyone else? This is a long gap. This is a long gap. But Jesus, there's a long gap between Primarchs. Fulgrim Transfigured. Yeah, I mean, he counts. He's still, like, mostly Primarch. Actually, no. In terms of sheer proportion, let's be real. In terms of sheer proportion, he is not mostly Primarch at this point. He's like maybe, if we're gonna do percentages, is he like maybe 25% Primarch and the rest of him is weird wing and snake body? He's definitely not mostly Primarch, is what I'm getting at. But we'll count him. It's still Fulgrim, okay? So that's 6. We've got 6 Primarchs in stock. We do have like transfigured versions of Fulgrim, and we've got the ascended version of Horus, and haven't we got Angron as well? Is Angron even out yet? Is Demon Angron out yet? Oh wow, okay. Hang on. I was too busy musing on whether Angron for Horus Heresy had been released. And I scrolled down and it already says temporarily out of stock. That's 6 Primarchs. There's only 6 available. 6? Like, what? You can't say pick up a Oh yeah, you want to go over to the website. You want to grab yourself a Primarch. We've only got 6 of them, but you should definitely go and do that. I can't believe how quick that was. What the hell? All right, so this is the thing. If Varen, the rest of that, I'm not trying to pronounce that. If that is the first temporarily out of stock, everything after that is out of stock. That's how that works, right? So once you hit the first one, everything below it is also out of stock. Horus Ascended, out of stock. I don't know why. It's so funny to me that Horus ascended. And not just Horus ascended, by the way. We didn't spot him in the in-stock section. So both Horus and Horus Ascended are currently not available to purchase because they're out of stock. Going into the 3rd edition of the game, the Horus Heresy. Now, I know it's childish, I don't care. I find that quite funny. The guy that it's named after, you cannot purchase. Like, come on. That is delicious irony. So, yeah, I mean, you want to prepare for the Horus Heresy, go and pick up your favourite Primarch. We hope it's one of these 5. Technically 6, but even then you have to want the demon version, like the transfigured version of that one, because the normal one, not available. That's not great. That is not ideal, is it? Good grief. That is so much stuff that's out of stock. That's not a good thing to point people towards. That doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? If I was thinking about picking up Horus Heresy off the back of the Saturnine announcement, and I saw an article that was like, go and grab yourself a Primarch for your chosen legion going into this, because, you know, new edition, new box, I'd be like, okay, you don't have the guy that I want. Is the box going to disappear instantly as well? I mean, there's a question. Is the box even going to be available for any length of time? Or is it going to immediately sell out and then you're just stuck waiting for ages? Because I could see that happening. I would imagine it's going to stick around like the last box did as like the entry point to the system, right? But if it immediately vanishes from the shelves because it's so popular, that is just another delay. It's just another entry point that people can't use to get into that side of the hobby. Now I'm curious. How much of the Horus Heresy is actually in stock? Because this is a good chunk of stuff that's missing, right? This is a good chunk. We're like halfway down the page. Less than halfway down the page. And all of this is currently unavailable. If I go Horus Heresy, shop the Horus Heresy, let's view all. This is a terrible way to find anything, by the way. I do not recommend this if you're trying to actually shop in any sort of, like, for anything specific. You either want to search for it, or you want to break it down into whatever unit type it is. Don't do it this way. This is stupid. But this will serve to illustrate a certain point, which is how much stuff is actually available for this system compared to how much stuff should be available right now. So we've got the various upgrade kits, like the various, you know, customized Legion heads and shoulder pads and the like. It looks like they've got a decent amount of those currently, so that's fine. Okay, we're on showing 36 of 511. We may skip over this bit. Okay, we're still going. I mean, actually, this is better than I thought it was. This is okay so far. This is okay. Oh god, the new version of Lehman Russ, the Solar Auxilia one, is so good. If only I hadn't bought and built so many of the other ones before those came out. I can't justify replacing them. Oh dear. Okay. Alright, how far in are we? I sort of lost track scrolling, which you'll have got the very condensed version of, but we're at the Librarian Console. That's out of stock, which means everything after that is going to be out of stock. Oh god, it's showing 252 of 511. So we're currently looking at half the range, and we're already at temporarily out of stock. So over half the Horus Heresy range is currently unavailable. You lord, that's rough. That is rough. My god. Also, if you want to personalize your Contemptor to your specific legion, no. that's how that works. That's a hard no. Not allowed to do that. Oh, that's pretty bad. That doesn't... When I say it doesn't inspire confidence, obviously they're moving a lot of this stuff over to plastic, right? They probably won't move all the Legion-specific helmets and Contemptor bodies and shoulders and, you know, you have like your tank hatches and the like. They won't move those over to plastic most likely because it's too niche a product. they just won't get enough volume of sales to make it worth it. But things like heavy weapons upgrade sets, those being like out of stock, is not great. The Leviathan being out of stock, the Sakaran's out of stock. Notable characters like Ahriman is out of stock. The Kratos as well. Like there's a good chunk of things here that it feels like they should be pretty much just around permanently, and they're definitely not. I'm afraid if you want any of your Blood Angel specific units, that's a hard no, apparently. The Contempt is not available either. Like, oh man. This is a lot more stuff not available than I thought there would be. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty up there. Oh, I really wasn't wrong that you can't have the Crimson Paladins either. So, or the Praetor. Poor Blood Angels. Or is that just the case with everything? Is almost everything like that gone? Palatine Blades are currently out. The Reaver Attack Squad's out. The Specialist Terminators are out. So, effectively, all the things that make your Legion different, all your Legion-specific units, maybe not all of them, but a hefty chunk of them, are simply not available right now. So if you want to start your Legion before Saturnine, what you effectively have to do is go generic, and then just wait for your stuff to come in. Yeah, Night Lord's Terminators, not available. You're missing the Wordbearers Praetors. That's interesting, but not necessarily in a good way. That's interesting in a, what do you do if you want to build a list around a certain unit that you feel is particularly appropriate for your Legion, and that's currently not available? Well, the answer is you don't. You just don't do it, because there's no way to do it. It makes me wonder how much stuff I scroll past that is Legion specific. Or even if there is a particular chunk of Legion-specific stuff that is currently in stock. Or whether they've focused almost entirely on things that are more generic. Oh, you got the Imperial Fist, you got your Praetor, that's nice. Yeah, that's rough. That's real rough. You get some Raven Guard, that's something. So it's not as bad as I thought it was in terms of all Legion-specific stuff is currently out. Which would be difficult to achieve, but I also wouldn't put it past them. But it's still not great. Okay, right. I had no idea to the extent of that. This was mostly just they've suggested this thing. Is it actually possible to do what they've suggested? That was the premise of this little adventure. And the answer was, it wasn't really possible unless you wanted 5 specific Primarchs and you didn't want any of the others. It sort of became just how much stuff is currently not available, and the answer is over half of it. So here's hoping, I guess, that they get their sort of manufacturing and storage and logistics stuff a bit more under the kind of control that I'm sure they would prefer they had. Because, oh, wow, that's a lot of stuff that you cannot buy. And I'm assuming they would prefer you buy it as opposed to acquire it from other places because they just can't keep up with demand. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, you know what? If you are a Horus Heresy addict / aficionado, do let me know. How long has a lot of this stuff been gone for? Has it been a long-term issue? Have you been waiting to be able to fill out your Blood Angels with some of the specific stuff and it's just not been an option for months on end? Because I'm super curious now as to just how long this has gone on. Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.